everything's gonna be alright. And when we get there, I'ma see a pretty, pretty, pretty young thing. I'ma ask her to take my hand, head to the floor, and we gon' dance. And when we get there, best believe we're gonna do a two-step. Ain't no drama in here, so don't stress. Step to the right, then side to the left.
Good evening, welcome to the Stephen Knight Show. Hope you're having a great Monday. Hopefully make it a little bit better for you. Tonight we're back with the latest in sports, fashion, movie reviews, and the best indie music out there. Then we welcome in Hot Topics, Courtney. Courtney has a podcast. She interviewed me last week and I had such a great time, so I asked her to join us tonight. Her podcast is called Flight of Fancy, but she'll join us in Hot Topics. Chike's out. He's not feeling well. Also, we welcome Tina Lifford. You all know her as Aunt Vive on Queen Sugar, and she has a new book out now. It's a self-help book. You know, we all knew that she was an actress, a very talented actress, but we did not know that. I didn't know she was a spiritual leader. And so she has a book called The Little Book of Big Lies, and she's going to talk to us about that and about being on Queen Sugar. Hot Topics are breaking out everything from Kanye West's Demands, if you were working with him on his latest album that came out over the weekend, and then find out what Dr. Ruth says about cheating on your partner, what you should do and what you shouldn't do. All that, much more. Want to remind you, all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, and of course our official website, thestephenknightshow.com. You can also check us out at Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Just go to our website, thestephenknightshow.com. When we come back, the question of the day and Hot Topics, right back after this.
It's amazing, the way that body moving, girl, I wanna talk to you. You drive me crazy. Just let me know what else I can do to come for you. What you drinking? Patron shots all around. What I'm thinking now, what I'm thinking, damn sinking. One shot ain't gon' hurt you, so I told her wait, I'll bring more rounds. Patron, girl, I heard you. Keep taking shots till we fall out. They don't deserve you. I keep your flight, we can ball out. She can sit with the stars. They know what we sip when we get to the bar. She wanna dirty wine like she won't live tomorrow. Girl, when I'm with you, we living life with no care now. Girl, it won't hurt you. Hop in the ride, let your head down. You got some nerve to be looking so good, girl, you stand out. I see the thirst too, but those other guys can't compare. I can't wait to get you home. Keep on pouring shots of Patron, Patron, whatever. Pretend and bring me more. Patron, whatever. We'll pass out on the floor. Patron, whatever. Patron, whatever. You can take a trip to the big homie yard. They know what we sip when we get to the bar. You could take a trip, you could take a trip, you could take a trip to the big homie yard. They know what we sip, they know what we sip, they know what we sip when we get to the bar. trip. You could take a trip to the big on my yacht. They know what we sip, they know what we sip, they know what we sip when we get to the bar. Patron, whatever. Bartender, bring me more.
Made love into the sunlight. Can't believe I had you going all night. A touch here, pulled hair, back it up, right there. Girl, you know you did some things to me slowly. Got me thinking I should call you my shorty. You the type that I could bring around the homies. Down for me, I ain't never gotta worry. Tease me, kiss me, squeeze me. Tell me that you miss me. Tell me you and I are meant to be. Forever you and I T-Y. Cause I'm that guy. Love at first sight when you caught my eye. Never do I ever wanna make you cry. Baby, be mine and we'll fly so high, so high. It's the morning after. It's the morning after. We made love and I can't get enough. It's the morning after. It's the morning after. We made love and I can't get enough of you. Girl, I know in the past I was moving fast in my own world. You was there all along, I was so fine to you. Pearl, if I knew then what I know now, girl, you would have been in that wedding gown. House on the hill, queen with a crown. Oh girl, you know that you are my everything. Since you've been in my life, ain't been the same. I need ya, I want ya, wanna be there for you. So let me love you. It's the morning after. We made love and I can't get enough. It's the morning after. It's the morning after. We made love and I can't get enough of you. Laying here in this bed, got so many things in my head. Thinking about how my life would have been if I met you way back when. But either way, I'm grateful for that love so beautiful. And I'm obsessed with showing you love, my love. Oh, baby. It's the morning after. We made love. Can't get enough. I can't get enough of you. We made love. Can't get enough. It's the morning after. Yeah, and I can't get enough. Can't get enough of you. It's the morning after. We made love, and I can't get enough of you. Yeah, I need you, baby. Oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Tina Lifford. You know me as Aunt Vi on Queen Sugar and author of The Little Book of Big Lies. And I am listening to the Stephen Knight Show. Are you?
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Miss Parker, how's it going?
Happy Monday. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. I know you had a good weekend. You want to talk about it?
My weekends are always good.
Right.
I didn't do much on Friday. Stayed home, did a movie and Chinese food night, and then on Saturday went out to a tailgate. Spellman a Spell House homecoming.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So hung out with my friends after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw you guys for dinner on Sunday. So
Yeah.
it's always fun filled. But Spell House, thank you guys for always having me. It's always a great time. I was out there having a blast.
Yeah, I heard it was a lot of fun. The thing is, the weekends, it seems like it goes by so much faster. Like the weeks go by fast, but the weekends go by a lot faster. It's crazy. You blink and it's over.
It does.
Yeah, Friday actually.
That's so true.
Friday I had a Netflix night. I watched Dolomite with Eddie Murphy, which is a great movie. I watched that, and then I finished up the series I was watching called Live with Myself or something like that. It was really good. Both of them were really good. And then Saturday I went to a Halloween party, ran some errands for the Halloween party, which was a lot of fun. And then, of course, saw you all on Sunday, our favorite Mexican spot. So shout out to El Del Rey Taco. That food's just so good.
I know we're there every week.
Every week, yeah.
And shout out to everyone who dressed up for Halloween already. Like, I'm loving seeing all the costumes. And
Yeah.
you guys are being real creative with it. So
Most
definitely.
definitely.
I love Halloween.
Uh-huh, you do. Well, we have a guest tonight, Courtney. She has a podcast called Flight of Fancy. She actually interviewed me last week, and I had a great time on her show. And so she's joining us tonight. Hot Topics, Chike's out. How's it going, Courtney?
It's going
Welcome,
pretty
Courtney.
good. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your podcast.
So my podcast features entrepreneurs, those who are kind of like early in the game, but also who have already taken that leap to create their own legacy. So I just definitely wanted to feature, individuals who are just trying to create their own path and build their own success.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And where can we check it out?
You can find it on YouTube. If you search Flight of Fancy, you will definitely see my videos there.
Most definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We definitely look forward to your output on some of these things that we're going to talk about tonight. All right, so
Thanks for having me.
again, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so shout out to survivors and those who are battling it. You're in our prayers. And also, ATL's Hottest Entertainment Awards. Want to let you know we're nominated for 2 awards. We're nominated for Hottest Online Radio Show, and I'm nominated for Hottest Online Radio Host. So please go to our website, thestephennightshow.com, or you can go to atlshottest.com and vote. We definitely appreciate you. All right, so the question of the day is, what's harder for you to do, forgive or forget? Ms. Parker?
Honestly, I used to always tell people I think I have a gift for forgiving. I think I forgive pretty easily. I think for me, forgetting is the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
I think I forgive, but I think whatever happens lingers in my memory. I think I just can't get rid of maybe the feeling that I felt when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer upset with the person. I move on from things pretty easily. But I think for me, forgetting is the toughest part.
Yeah. What about you, Courtney?
I would definitely have to agree about the forgetting. I feel like you can definitely get over, certain things that someone may have done or certain, events. But, it's still kind of in your mind when certain things pop up. So forgiving, yes, but forgetting is probably harder.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I think forgetting, I get over things very quickly, but I don't forget it. You know what I mean? And I don't think, they say it's better to, you forgive and forget, but I don't think you're supposed to forget. Because if you forget, and I'm not saying hold it against the person for the rest of their life, but if you forget, then you kind of set yourself up because they've already showed you what they're capable of doing. You know what I mean? So I think it's important to forgive, but also I don't think you should forget. But I don't think you should hold it. If you choose to forgive someone, you shouldn't hold it against them, ongoing. But tweet us at home and let us know what you think. What's harder for you to do, forgive or forget? All right, hot topic. So it's been officially open for a few weeks. Tyler Perry's historic $250 million Atlantic movie studio is already the home of a very big event. So they announced, ABC News announced that Tyler Perry's studio was chosen as the new location for the Democrat convention, which will be in November 20th. I'm sorry, not convention. Democratic debate, which will take place November 20th. A steep competition with Tyler's studio in the new Atlanta Performance Center in the northern suburb of Sandy Springs for its location. The debate will be hosted by MSNBC and the Washington Post. What are your thoughts, Ms. Park? You think it's a good idea?
In Sandy Springs?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I think it's good. I'm proud of him. He's not the first black man to have a studio, but I think he's the most well-known. I don't know how much politics but I think nowadays politics and entertainment are kind of hand in hand. So
Yeah.
I think it's good publicity for his venue, for him as a businessman. I just quite don't really have a opinion on how I feel about being hosted there. But,
Yeah. Courtney, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it is a good idea. Like she said, definitely for publicity and just to, have that visual of his studio. I know there's been a lot of videos about it and on it, but yeah, to be honest, I don't have a true opinion whether it's best result or not. So
yeah, I think I don't know. I'm trying to think. Would he would want to have the Democratic debate there, and then if they had once they have the nominee and then they have Trump, would they want to have that debate there as well, or would you just want to just keep it Democrat? I don't know. I think the politics of it all could get in the way.
No, don't bring Trump.
Don't bring him. I agree. I agree. But I'm saying if you want to be bipartisan, you know what I mean? Because I don't know, but
we don't want to be bipartisan.
Well, shout out to Tyler Perry. I was invited to his studio for an event, and I didn't have one to take. Ms. Parker said, "You should have took me." But yeah, next time. All right. Well, speaking of Trump, during a recent appearance to appeal to the black vote, it was backfired big time on him. So while speaking at HBCU, he was likely expecting at least some sort of crowd, but instead was greeted by an attendance of less than 10 people. According to Newsweek, Trump was the recent guest speaker at the 2020 Bipartisan Justice Center, an event that was about criminal justice reform platform that he was using to obtain the black vote for next year's election. However, the event was held at HBCU's Benedict College in South Carolina, and only 7 students were in attendance. Around 300 tickets were available for students and faculty for the event, with half reserved for the guests of Trump administration. Additionally, 10 tickets were made available for Benedict students and 25 tickets for South Carolina GOP. Would you have gone, Ms. Parker? Would you have been one of the 7?
No, and I'm glad 7 people went.
What about you?
He deserved less than that. But
No,
I have gone.
Courtney, would you have gone?
I don't know. I think I would have gone just to see what it was all about, but obviously not in full support. So
yeah, right. I mean, I'm looking at the 7 people that went. Like, what'd y'all go there for? But I probably wouldn't have gone. I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out the same thing. They must be Kanye fans.
Right. Speaking of Kanye, you brought him up. So his new album was released over the weekend, Jesus is King. And he did a 2-hour interview with this host. I think it's on iTunes as well. But anyway, he said while he was making the album, he asked people that were working on the album with him to not have premarital sex. He also said that this transformation that he's on, that he's no longer going to perform his old music anymore. He's only performing his new Christian music. And he also said that another thing he said that I wanted to address. He was talking about men in his relationships with Jay-Z and with who's the other person? Jay-Z. I can't think. I'm sorry. I just saw it. But do you think that obviously it's great that he has found this transformation within himself. But you think that if you were working on an album, you would have followed the rules that he asked for you to do? Ms. Parker?
So I was a part of this group of people who, when I was going through my transition, it was more of a spiritual, not a religious transition. But we had different lifestyle commitments that was required for you to be within that healing circle. So felt like the energy that you brought in was important, not just to you, but to everyone involved.
Right.
So you didn't. So they did have. I mean, it was a company as well that had jobs, employment opportunities for everybody that worked there. Had to commit to a lifestyle, a lifestyle of healing and transformation. And so, with the meditation that was required from everyone, the group meetings that was required from everyone, the reading that was required from everyone, they had to commit to it. And there was an app that tracked people. Even people who worked there had to commit to being on the app as well. And I remember to myself, like, if this was a job, I wouldn't do it.
Right.
But for me, that was healing. And I realized that in order sometimes for you to heal, your environment you have to create an environment of healing. And so I'm not a religious person, so I don't know his religious transformation. But I do know that spiritually, in order for you to heal, I think your environment has to be a healing space. And so whatever you identify a healing space to be, I think it's important that you put yourself within that space for that to happen.
Yeah.
And so I think that's part of just creating his space. Now, no one has to work there. They can always say no. And when I was with this program for 4 years, there were people who came for interviews. I didn't work there, but I was there every day. There were people who came for interviews and was like, yeah, this is kind of weird. This isn't for me, and they didn't take the job.
Right. Yeah.
Which is totally fine. But that's where they have the choice whether or not that's what they want to do. They don't have to work on his album. But if he's requiring it and that it's his business, then I think, yes, the people who take this job, I probably could not.
Yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts, Courtney?
Well, I think it's good that he's trying to be on a new path and a new journey. Because, like they always say, nobody loves Kanye more than Kanye. But,
right.
Yeah, I don't know how I would respond to that, just because I don't know how well I could contain myself, I guess. You know what I mean? Under certain stipulations. I'm just putting it out there, just being real. But
right.
Yeah, if that's what he wants to do, like, I'm all for it. But for me personally, I don't know if I could just like commit 100%.
Yeah, I think it's one thing if you decided it's a lifestyle you want to adapt to, and you do that. But I think telling people not to have premarital sex, as long as they're not doing these things in front of you, they're respecting your growth and respecting your process. You can't really tell people what to do. But if he did tell them at the onset of the project, listen, this is a team, we're doing this album, and this is how I want it done. I think as long as he says it up front, like you said, it's a decision whether or not you want to work there or not. Just like Chick-fil-A, they're closed on Sundays for religious reasons. You know what I mean? So, every company.
They definitely have employment. They definitely have religious employment rules. As
Yeah.
Well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in their interview process as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, the album was good. I listened to it while I was running errands on Saturday. It was really good. So check it out. All right, our last topic. We were going to talk about Meghan Markle's sister, but I don't want to talk about it anymore. Dr. Ruth, she's the sex therapist, 91 years old, and she says that if you cheat on your partner and you do it one time, like you have a one night stand, and you feel really bad about it, you'll never do it again. Don't tell your partner. But if you have like a romantic affair, where you're doing it ongoing, the best way to get forgiveness is to tell your partner. If you found out that your significant other cheated on you one time, would you want to know? Ms. Parker.
I agree with her advice.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it was a one night stand or a fling, I probably don't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, I identified cheating more so as being an ongoing affair. I'm sorry to say this, but I think people do have random sex. And I think it's unrealistic almost to ask a human being not to ever have sex with another person in their entire life besides you. So as long as I don't know, I think I'll be fine. But I think when it's an affair where it's the same person and they have a whole separate relationship, I think that's different.
Mm-hmm. Courtney?
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to know, but, what happens in the dark comes to light. I mean, sooner or later you're going to find out and you're going to know. So I guess it just depends on, like, the severity of it. Again, like, if it was a one-time thing, might be able to forgive that, but if it's an ongoing situation, like, I'm not cool with that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as the person, like, if I was the one that cheated one time, I wouldn't want to say anything because I feel like I always look judged. Like, he won't be able to trust me anymore, and you know what I mean? It just creates this whole thing. But what is done in the dark does come out in the light. And the other thing, you don't want to be the only one in the room that doesn't know that you were cheated on. You know what I mean? Everyone else knows, and you looking crazy. But, yeah. Well, Courtney, tell us again where we can, tell us your podcast and where we can check it out.
Well, you can go to YouTube, and you can find me under Flight of Fancy.
Flight of Fancy, check it out, y'all. Courtney, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Miss Parker, have a great week, and we'll talk again next Monday. All right, right back after this.
Who do you love? Are you for sure?
Screaming out like, who do you love? No IG. With all of these bras, I swear one of y'all coming home. Yeah. John Wall, I'm finna flex. If I'm with you, but then I'm finna sex. I don't apologize for nothing in the past. Bad boy, I'm puffy combs in the flesh. Like, oh no. DJ knocking that new joint. Molly in a drink, now she tryna. Shorty face down and the bottoms up. Loud in the air and the bottoms up. Like way up. I'm a real, I don't chase them. Throw a couple dollars for a fast break. Hit a 1-2, now that's a layup. Hater.
Who do you love? Are you for sure?
Is it me?
Who do you love?
Yeah.
Are you for sure?
Tell me it's
Who
me,
do you
girl.
love? Are you for sure?
Do you love?
Who do you love?
Yeah.
Are you for sure?
I don't got a problem being friends with you. Long as you got plans to bring your friends with you. Couldn't give a if your man's with you. Girl, why you acting like I am with you? Yo, like you don't know. Getting bucky in the back of the photo. Got you missing from the party like we're homegirl. Ask shorty, can she take it? She like, oh no. The sky is the limit. Oh hell no, it isn't. One moon and the stars. You know I got chips, is you free though to lay up? Bars, talking about who do you love? Baby, you know I'm the one.
Talking about who do you love? Baby, you know I'm the one. Yeah. Who do you love? Are you for sure?
Are you for
Who
sure?
do you love? Are you for sure?
Who do you love?
Are you for sure?
Are you?
Who do you love?
Who do you love, girl? Hey.
Who do you love? 'cause tonight we'll be alone. No interruptions from the phone. You got my body feeling eager, dripping like I got a fever. No distractions will occur, 'cause you know what I prefer. Those famous three letters. Ooh, you and I gon' do it right. Ooh, you and I, what else to gon' do tonight? We don't get it in, 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 get it in. Hey, we're gonna do it over and over. I'll have your legs within my shoulder. Hey, babe, you are the business. So let the neighbors witness how we put it down like this. From the bedroom to the kitchen, your love's like high definition. It's gonna be you and I for the rest of our lives. Those simple three letters go so ham together. Ooh, you and I gon' do it right. Ooh, you and I, what else to gon' do tonight? We don't get it in, 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 get it in. Break it down, yeah.
Hey, yo, peace world. It's the Love King of R&B, Raheem Devon, and you're listening to the Stephen Knight Show. Keep it locked right here. Love life.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Our guest tonight is one of the stars of the hit OWN TV show Queen Sugar, playing the family matriarch Aunt Viv. Next month, she releases a new book entitled The Little Book of Big Lies. She joins us tonight to discuss it all. Please help me welcome the very talented Tina Lifford. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Stephen, it's great to be here. Thank you.
I'm definitely a fan. I follow you on social media, and a lot of people, we all know you from acting and your 20-year career, and especially on Queen Sugar. But who knew that you did so much behind the scenes? But briefly, if you don't mind, everyone loves you in Queen Sugar. We love your character. How's this experience been? I know you just wrapped season 4. How's this experience been for you overall, would you say?
Yeah, this is a blessed experience, and I say blessed in very specific ways. Every actor dreams of getting up every day and going to do the thing that we enjoy most, which is being a channel for stories and for the lives of other people. What we don't always get that I certainly have in so many ways in Queen Sugar is I'm working with an amazing cast. We all are, we all are delivering at a level that makes us proud.
Mm-hmm.
We all get along really well. We have our work environment is full of respect. You could definitely say that we are a family at work. And we are telling important stories. We are telling stories, because of the vision of Ava DuVernay and the incredible team that she has assembled around her. Our showrunner for season 4 is one of the writing producers that has been on the team since the very beginning, but he came in with season 4, Anthony Sparks, and just really helped the Queen Sugar experience not just maintain, but I think even go to another level in its impact and storytelling. So I am doing what I have dreamed of doing for my entire career.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, congratulations to you on that hit show, and I can't wait for season 5. So let's talk about the Little Book of Big Lies. Now, you're an author. For those that don't know that you have other books out there. What made you decide it was time for this book?
So we all, every last one of us, deserves to have answers for those challenging moments in our lives when, some old hurt, drama, upset, or disappointment is standing in the way of, our greater potential.
Right, yeah.
Is standing in the way of us behaving as our best selves and trusting that we can not only live our lives powerfully, but that we can actually live this lifetime totally exploring our greater potential.
Most definitely.
And that was what I wanted to do with my career.
Yeah.
And I had a debilitating experience with stage fright, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I had to figure out what it meant to live my best life in the midst of having had an experience that challenged that.
Wow. So how did you overcome that?
So, it takes work.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that the starting point is us realizing that any and everything in our lives, no matter what you have experienced, no matter how big it feels, no matter how long you've dealt with it, it can change.
Yeah.
How it's been up until now, that is not the way it has to be from this point forward. And so that's really the starting point. And I say that letting you know that that's exactly what science is saying now. Neuroscience is finding out that the brain, where once they used to believe that the brain was fixed, after a certain age, the brain didn't change, and we just had what we had.
Right. Yeah.
But they have discovered that conclusion was incorrect. And so now we need to all start from the starting point of knowing that it can change.
Yeah.
And then the next step in changing something, Stephen, is for us to learn the kinds of practices, mindset and practices, actual actionable practices that we can engage in the same way that we learn exercises that help us strengthen our body. Right?
Yeah. Let me ask you, because, there's been a lot of, I watched a lot of news and there've been a lot of talk about mental health. And people, they said on CBS this morning, yesterday, that 1 in 5 Americans experienced some kind of mental health issue last year. Do you see how all this, the book that you're in, we're going to talk about your inner fitness project. Do you see how that all plays into it? Can you talk about how that all plays into mental health?
Absolutely. So, mental health is about having a strong mental, frame and resilience, right?
Yeah.
Let's start again. There is a distinction that needs to be made between mental health, mental illness, and what I call inner fitness. Now, mental health it speaks to the overall state of one's mind and how we work with our minds and operate.
Right, yeah.
Right? Mental illness it recognizes when that overall mental state has moved to some form of dysfunction.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And there's all kinds of dysfunctions. The statistic that you quoted or noted at the top of the show, where it's 1 in 5, mostly what they're talking about is some sort of depressant.
Right.
Depression.
Exactly.
And depression is considered a mental illness because it is outside of the range of the normal mental state.
Right, correct.
Right?
Yes.
So anything outside of the range of the normal functioning of the mind or brain can be considered or is considered mental illness.
Yes.
So, and I think that it's important to realize that, depression is something that, most people have experienced at some level. It's when an experience becomes chronic or moves to a state where we are out of control of it. That it becomes, a diseased state, a state that requires immediate attention.
Right. Yeah.
Now, what the Inner Fitness Project is about is twofold. Number one is we are championing in ways in which people can be proactive about their mental state, strengthening their mental state and creating resilience and around their mental state the same way we engage in exercise to strengthen our bodies and keep us physically flexible. Right? So if we are willing to give the kind of time and attention to our physical bodies, which carry us, we have to recognize that inside of us, is the actual self that lives our lives.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so we have to give the self that lives our lives the same kind of time and attention that we give the body that carries our lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always say that to my friends because, I have I see a therapist. And I remember I told one of my friends, I said, "What's wrong with you?" And to me, I thought it made me laugh because, I work out regularly. And, and I have to admit, I didn't start seeing a therapist until my mother passed away 2 years after she passed away. And I just wanted to do a check-in to make sure that I was handling it well. And so my mindset now is I work out 5 days a week on my physical self. I have to give that same energy to my mental self.
That's
and so
exactly right.
That's what I love.
That's exactly right.
When I was reading up on your inner fitness project, it kind of, that's what it's talking about. It's talking about working inner, your mental health and all that. Tell us more about the inner fitness project.
Okay, I will. But before I do, I'm going to have to say that from now on, when your friends ask you, because you are being proactive, taking your inner self, making your inner self important,
yes,
and using the benefits of therapy to help you do that, the next time one of your friends says, "What's wrong with you?" you say, "No, dude, what's wrong with you?"
Right, what's wrong with you? Exactly.
Because I'm doing everything necessary so that nothing is wrong with me. But if you're not over there doing something, if you're not over there handling your internal business in some way, if you're not checking in on your hurts, dramas, traumas, upsets, disappointments, and fears in some way, dude, I have to ask you, what's wrong with you?
But can I ask you this question too? Because I've learned this. The more that I'm learning about myself and growing as a man, and that's why I was also attracted to. I'm gonna ask you about Ask Tina after we talk about inner fitness, but things like that. I find it's harder sometimes to connect to people on a real deep level because you can tell they're not really there yet, and it's not judging them, but it's just if they haven't put that work in on their own being, it's kind of hard to. Do you find that to be the case, or what would you say to that?
Okay, well, I would say this. I would say that one of the beautiful things that comes with these incredible minds that we have as human beings, we actually get to design and envision our lives, right?
Yeah, right.
And when we take the time to envision the life we want to live, statistics will tell you that the people who know the direction they want to go in, the people who know what they want, are 50% more likely to actually get what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, I want to use this lifetime as best as I can use it.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
I want to, in fact, my tag is be fully alive. That's my aim.
Yeah.
In this lifetime, my aim is to be fully alive. And I know, Stephen, that there are lots of people on this planet who have the same intention.
Yeah, exactly.
And so my intention is to attract those people, find those people.
Exactly.
And the people who aren't about that and who want to talk about things that I no longer can spend my time talking about. I can't spend my time gossiping anymore.
Right.
Because
yeah.
I'm too busy creating the life I want to live.
Exactly.
You know, there's a saying that I absolutely love. It's a quote from Ernest Holmes. And it says, faith is the most important thing you can have. But you cannot get to the grandeur of its possibilities through petty thinking and small ideas.
That's true. That's true.
So, there are people who were in my life that are no longer in my life. I still love them and,
absolutely,
bless them. But I'm over here trying to get to the grandeur of what it means to be fully alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it dictates the kind of conversations you have and the kind of, and how you spend your time.
Most definitely. So what more do you want us to know about the Inner Fitness Project?
Well, I want you to know that the reason the Inner Fitness Project exists is because, as I said at the top of the show, it was my desire to absolutely fulfill my life, live the life of my dreams, right? And I had to figure out ways to get around that stage fright that had left me feeling less than.
Okay.
And so, like I say in the book, any event that has ever taken place in your life, any person or experience that left you feeling less than, incapable, limited, or disconnected from yourself in any way is a lie. And we must now take our power back from those lies. And so the Little Book of Big Lies is a very, very instructional, simple, actionable way of it lists ways that you can indeed begin to take your power back from anything, any hurt, drama, trauma, upset, disappointment, or fear.
Yeah.
And it prescribes a way of looking at yourself that is really, really powerful and strengthening, and builds the kind of you that can stand before anything that life might send your way, and you can thrive.
Awesome.
Would you like for me to sort of give you an example of what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, in fact, anyone listening can join in on this exercise. I want you to think about something, Stephen, that has been a challenge for you.
Okay.
Something, in the book I call those sticky, hurtful challenges, I call them sacred tortures. It's the ones where, people might not even believe that you are actually dealing with such a thing, because it winds up being our secret.
Right.
But it is something that challenges you on a regular basis. And if not on a regular basis right now, it challenged you on a regular basis before. And if it were to be triggered, it could once again challenge you on a regular basis.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So I want you to think about that thing. And I want you to say, I'm going to give you this whole sentence to say. Up until now, this, and you can name it or not, you can just say this challenge, or you can name it specifically. Up until now, this challenge has been this way. but from this point forward, it can change for the better. So now tell me about that. Why did you go?
Because I think that a lot of people can, and I obviously me and I think a lot of our listeners, they can. That resonates because, you know, like you said, it's something. Usually, it's something that most people wouldn't think or wouldn't know, but it's something that shows up if you don't deal with it. It shows up, and it may not show up. Like you said, it might from this period of time. It shows up, like you said, if triggered, it could definitely show back up. Yeah. So I definitely, that's why I was.
Okay, so, but let's actually do it. So you can use the word. You can use, this challenge. If you don't want to share the challenge, use this challenge. But you want to actually say the words yourself. That up until now, this challenge has been this way. But from this point forward, it can change for the better.
Okay.
So say that.
Up until now, this challenge has been this way, but from this point forward, it could change for the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I need to check in on a couple of things.
Okay.
Is there a part of you that relaxes or opens to that idea?
Absolutely. Yeah. Most definitely.
And I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you that because up until now, you have dealt with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have been at war with this thing, and this thing keeps winning.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps making you feel like you'll never be on the other side of it.
Right.
It keeps making you feel like when it rears its head again, you're starting, back at square one.
Exactly.
It makes you feel like no matter how you try, this thing just won't. You really can't even at this point, up until now, imagine yourself free of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think when you say those words, because and it's one thing to say it yourself, when you say it out loud, it's actually it gives you hope. You know what I mean? It gives you hope. It gives you hope. I had a pastor one time said that faith is nothing more than hope, and I think that's what that gives you. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now here's something else that you need to know, and all of this is in the Little Book of Big Lies, and I'm excited about it and sharing the book, and I'm even willing to affirm out loud that this book will be a New York Times bestseller, and that's not my ego talking.
Right.
I'm telling you that it's because there are answers that we have all been waiting for in this book.
Mm-hmm.
There are actionable ways, just like with the up until now and from this point forward, there are ways that we actually, when we hear these simple practices, there's a part of us that opens and has more hope.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I'm going to tell you about hope is, or I probably might not be the last thing, but hope. But hope. Up until now, we have dealt with hope in a very limited way. We have thought of hope as a nice sentiment,
right?
A nicety.
Mm-hmm.
What we didn't know, and what we must begin to realize, is that hope is one of the most powerful, forward-moving actions that we can take.
Most definitely.
There is not one person who has achieved anything of worth on this planet without it first having been ushered in through a sense of hope or possibility.
Yeah, yeah. Hoping for something, hoping for a specific thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Or seeing something, seeing an idea of yours as, a possibility.
Right.
Seeing, being able to watch TV or watch someone else's life and seeing them as a model that allowed you to hope or see that as your possibility as well.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Right? So we're not talking about a nicety, an emotional nicety. We are talking about a powerful, actionable, necessary component to driving your life forward.
I love it. I want to let the listeners know they can go on YouTube. Well, actually, on your website, tinalifford.com, and you read an excerpt from the little book of Big Lies, your book that's coming out, and that comes out November 18th. Is that correct?
It actually drops November the 19th.
November 19th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I am encouraging anyone who has a hurt, trauma, upset, disappointment, or fear, or has been challenged, by something over time, for longer than you would want to be challenged by that thing, or anyone who is just wanting to know how they can move their lives forward towards that better idea of life that they are holding. Go not just to my website at tinalifford.com, but go there and actually pre-order the book.
Yes.
Because one of the things that I've learned in this process is that pre-orders help to position a book for success, because what we don't know is that, okay, when it comes to like the New York Times bestseller list, there's a certain number of books that have to sell in the first week,
right,
in order for it to, make it to the New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah.
And so pre-orders actually stack up sales.
Yeah.
So that when that first week happens, there are all of these pre-orders that are actually dropping into the booksellers' channels, and those books represent or count for the bestseller status.
Exactly. And then also from a personal, if you're listening tonight and all this is resonating with you, it's one thing to say, I'll get the book in a couple weeks. But if you pre-order it right now, you already know it's already done. That book will show up. And you'll be ready to read and do the work that you are seeking. So I encourage everyone to pre-order this book. I mean, I'm about to order mine right now as soon as we finish this interview. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, I have to just applaud you, Stephen. I have to applaud you for being the kind of conscious man.
Thank you.
Who is taking his life seriously, and particularly in ways that we haven't been taught.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You had to find your way to this.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the fact that you are finding your way, and that you're interested in finding your way, and that you can see yourself changing on the way.
Yeah.
Because when you mention,
that's the best. Well, you can see it. You can see it. Miss Parker, who's a host on our show, a co-host on our show, she's the kind of person that if she has a problem with something you did, and she and I are very close, she'll call you out on it, and she'll do it in a way that it's out of love, but she's just telling you I didn't like this, and she'll tell you why. Yeah. And I remember she was telling me, she called me one day to tell me something, and I listened to her. And then I said, I was just joking, but I do apologize to you. And she just stopped. She said, I wasn't expecting that response. Because the old me would have, it's not a big deal. I was just joking. Yes. But I heard what she said, and I acknowledged it and I apologized. And so that's part of the growth, you know what I mean? Just in different ways. Because you realize I don't have to be right about everything. And if someone is coming to you with an issue, why wouldn't you want to hear what they say, especially to someone that matters to you? So it's just little things like that. You notice that you say, "Wow, I am growing."
Yes. But now here's what excites me about what you just said, Stephen.
Okay.
Because you just said she wasn't expecting it,
right?
But you heard what she said.
Yep.
You acknowledged it, and you apologized.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to inner fitness is really at the core about our relationship with ourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And so what you just said about developing a healthier relationship with this woman, you could use that exact same 3 steps. Y'all listening to me? All of y'all out there?
Listen, y'all. Listen up.
You can use those exact 3 steps to begin to build a better relationship with yourself.
Absolutely.
And right? And so just to recap it means set the intention right now to begin to hear yourself more.
Yeah.
Listen to yourself more. If there is dis-ease, meaning there is an area of uncomfortability, if there is some way in which you are constantly, sort of running from some thought, some pain, some past experience, that's your inner self. Think of it as a little boy or girl waiting, hoping, reaching towards you, asking you to please stop running away from me and just listen to me.
Exactly.
All I want to say to you is that such and such a thing hurt my feelings. And if you don't give me the opportunity to say that, this is your young self talking. If you don't give me the opportunity to say that, if you don't listen to me and hear my need to say that, then I feel rejected.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not acknowledging me.
That's true. Yeah.
And if you just say, okay, tell me what's on your mind. Tell me what hurt you. And just acknowledge it. I see that. I see that hurt you. I'm sorry that hurt you. Give ourselves the same. Be willing to listen to ourselves, to acknowledge to ourselves, and then apologize to ourselves for having rejected this healing moment for such a long time.
Yeah, that's powerful. Wow. Tina Lifford, I want to thank you so much just for sharing your knowledge with the world and sharing the work that you've done with the world. Again, everyone go to her website, tinalifford.com, and pre-order the little book of Big Lies. This will change your life. it's changing lives already, and we haven't read it, but just from how you're explaining it and the examples you're giving us. But I want to thank you so much for taking time on your busy schedule. I know you have a lot going on, and much success with this book, and just thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Stephen. You be well.
You too. Listen, our thanks go to Tina Lifford. We'll be right back after this.
Do I swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Let me take a minute. What is my reason for cheating? Let's start from beginning. Let me take a minute. It's clear I made the wrong move. It went down in the DM like the song do. I didn't mean it to happen. She just wanted that action. Body stop moving, I'm folding. Try to talk myself out of it, I'm going. She got the rubbing, I start the boju. But then I probably lose it all focus. Hold up, damn, you don't wanna hear me. I can tell the truth, but to you it's all theory. Tell me, you can stay here, I'ma leave it. And I'ma take it back to the block, I'll need you. She like, rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. Rewind, rewind. She said she want a minute. Rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. She said she want in the middle and then no. Do I swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Let me take a minute. She was just feeling my vibe when I looked in her eye. Let me take a minute. 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 I place the blame cause I'm popping, I'm rocking. Hold up, losing that option. I really started from the bottom, honest. See, I'm just speaking on the topic, easy. Shawty, I don't really want you leaving. Truth is, she was on the troll and I was feeding. And at your weakest moment, wasn't there for the healing. Been a broken man, how I'm supposed to pick the pieces up? Maybe you was right, I ain't really good enough. Suitcase I'm packing, she get no reaction. She thinking I'm capping her body like that. She like, rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. Rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. Rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. She said she want in the middle and then no. Do I swear to tell her whole truth? Nothing but the truth, let me take a minute. She was just feeling my vibe when I looked in her eye. Let me take a minute. 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 Oh, she said she want the. She said she want. Let me take a minute. She said she want the. She said she want. Let me take a minute. She said me take a minute. She said she want. Let me take a minute. She said she want the big. She said she want the big. Rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. Rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. Rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. She said she want the big. She said she want the. She want in the middle and then no. She said she want the beginning, the middle, and then no.
Don't make me wait, no. Don't be afraid, no. I'm a big boy, I'ma eat everything on my plate. Oh, don't be ashamed, no. I know you ain't got your face on, but I love it in the morning. Inside your legs ain't nothing like baking hot cakes and eggs. Oh, we gon' get it in, get it in. We gon' turn this bedroom to a kitchen. Let's get up there. Oh, you can't get away, get away. Stop playing, girl, give me them cakes. switching. Eyes roll back when I'm staring at the ceiling. Girl, you and I, how many licks just to get to your center? When I beat that batter, girl, I'ma fry them cakes with a cast iron skillet. You wake up, oh, we gon' get it in, get it in. Give you my love. We gon' turn this bedroom to a kitchen. Let's get up there. Oh, you can't get away, get away. In my bed. Stop playing, girl, give me them cakes. Girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the morning. I got to have breakfast in bed. Squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the morning. I got to have breakfast in bed. Maybe I could go hard like this all day. It feels so good when we shake and bake. When you curl your toes and you grab my hand, this is the sound when we baking, man. Wake up, oh, we gon' get it in, get it in. Give you my love. We gon' turn this bedroom into a kitchen. Let's get up there. Oh, you can't get away, get away. In my bed. Stop playing, girl, give me them cakes. Girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the morning. I got to have breakfast in bed. Squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the morning. I got to have breakfast in bed. Moaning and groaning. Girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the morning. I got to have breakfast in bed. Squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the morning. I got to have breakfast in bed.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, how's it going?
It's going well, Stephen. How are you?
I cannot complain. How was the weekend?
It was actually pretty good. It was interesting. Now that you bring it up, we went to a timeshare presentation for the first time.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've ever done one of those, but it was definitely something we're not going to be doing anytime soon.
Yeah.
So, again, it is. I mean, you've never seen a harder sell, right? It's it was supposed to be 2 hours. It was 3 hours. And even when, like, they do the exit survey, they're trying to sell you stuff on it. So, in the end, though, we did good. We didn't relent. And we'll have some free nights somewhere to go. So that'll be fun. But, yeah, besides that, it was really good. The weather turned out Sunday afternoon to be like a nice spring, late or early fall day. So we grilled and everything.
Oh, nice. Okay. Sounds like a good weekend. Are you doing Halloween this year?
I mean, I'll be. I don't know. We'll probably find something to do, but we don't have anything planned at the moment. How about you?
I did Halloween on Saturday. I went to a Halloween party. I was the Incredibles.
Oh, nice. What'd you? Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that the outfit. Yeah. How'd it go?
It was good. Everybody liked my outfit. I just feel real big.
Nice.
Yeah. Last minute
at
at Target.
See more pictures. I only saw that one.
Right. Yeah.
You mean you didn't stitch that yourself?
No. I just didn't have the time. No. What's going on in the world of movie reviews?
Yeah, sure. So I'll kick it off since it's just me today. And the movie I went to see is called Jojo Rabbit. And right now it's still in a limited release, but there's a couple theaters here playing it. But Jojo Rabbit is a movie that just recently won the main award for the Toronto Film Festival. And it is about this young boy in World War II, this young German boy who is part of like the Hitler Youth, and he is wanting to serve his country, and he has an imaginary friend who is Hitler. and it goes along with his story and how he kind of goes about with that. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's done by Taika Waititi, who is famous for doing What We Do in the Shadows, Thor Ragnarok, and he actually also stars in the movie. And it has a wonderful cast: Rebel Wilson, Sam Rockwell, Scarlett Johansson, and it's a very interesting one. I will say it's not for everyone. You know, this does take place during a serious subject matter, but it also kind of brings a lot of comedic elements to the movie. And the director, Taika, is known for kind of having, if anyone's seen What We Do in the Shadows, the movie, and they made it into a TV series just recently, or even the Thor Ragnarok, it's that kind of humor that's embedded in this movie. And I thought it was great. I think this is, and because we don't have Chike on right now, I'll ask him next time, but I think this will be an early forerunner for Best Picture nomination once we get to the Oscar season. And again, it has a lot of elements to it. It's not going to be for everyone, but if you're looking for something that's kind of out there and different, I highly recommend it.
Nice. That's real good. Anything else?
Not too much in the movie realm.
Okay.
For TV shows, the new season of BoJack Horseman just came out a few days ago. So for anyone interested in that, I would recommend checking that out. It's been pretty good season so far. And besides that, we're still powering through The Sopranos. So we're in season 2 right now.
Oh yeah,
things are getting pretty good. I don't know if you watched that show either in real time.
I didn't. I never watched it.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's interesting. It's different. If you have an HBO Go account and you need to fill up your time, it'll definitely do that. They're long seasons, and of course it's the HBO show, so the episodes are about an hour long. But
right.
Yeah, that's just been what we've been doing lately.
Nice. I watched Chike told me to shout out Dolomite. That was on Amazon with Eddie Murphy, and actually there's a lot of cameos in there. Chris Tucker's in there. Linnell's in there. Snoop Dogg's in there. But I did not know it was based on a true story. But it's based on a true story of back in the Foxy Brown days when they had the black movies. The acting wasn't that great, but it was all a lot of action and 70s kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so Dolomite, he takes on this character because he really wants to be a star. And Eddie, I didn't realize it was based on a true story until the very end. They're showing scenes from the real shows, and it was done really well. That was such a great movie, I have to say. And he liked it as well. But also, I watched a series called Live With Yourself or something like that. It's about this guy who goes to and I don't know the actor's name top of my head, but you know him. But he goes to this sauna, and they're supposed to make you feel better about yourself. You know, they're supposed to make you supposed to be rejuvenated because you feel like he was just stuck. You know, he was married and his job wasn't doing that great, and so he's on a slump. And what they're supposed to do is clone you and kill the original you, but they didn't kill him, and so.
Interesting.
So him and his clone, and they have the exact same memories, and they don't know. Like the clone's thinking, "No, I'm the real person," and then they all figured it out. But you have to see how it turns out. It's really good. Then I watched this other show, the Politician. That is hilarious.
Yeah. That's what I've heard. I've heard good things.
Oh, and so the last episode of season 1, I can't wait for season 2. The last episode, like these new characters to come in, you're thinking, what are they like? Where are they going with this story? But you see exactly why at the end. So I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So those are definitely 2 must-sees. I think they were. I watched both last week, and then I watched Dolomite on Friday. But check them out if you get a chance, for sure.
Yeah. So it sounds like you just talked about 3 Netflix productions. Because Dolomite Is My Name, which is the one you're talking about. It's Netflix, and then those other 2. So yeah, I mean it's crazy to think about that.
Yeah,
this is kind of the new norm. But I definitely want to check out Dolomite Is My Name. Did it inspire you to watch the original movie from the 70s?
No.
Do you think you'll okay?
No. Not at all.
So you realize you're not missing anything. You just okay.
But it was really good. It was really good because just seeing how everyone came together. I think I didn't know it was based on a true story, but watching now, I have more respect for what they all did, how they put together this movie, and then they would go on and they put on 7 new movies. All they did it themselves, and so it was really good. It was really good. You gotta check it out for sure.
Okay, I definitely will check it out. And then I'll take a look at this Living with Yourself with Paul Rudd. And,
yeah.
And I've been seeing the advertisements for The Politician, so I will check that out as well.
The Politician is hilarious. I mean, it's just like that dry humor.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say one part that took me out because it was kind of inappropriate, but check it out. It's definitely good.
All right. Well, that's definitely on our list, then.
All right. Well, anything coming down the pipeline?
So not really. Well, there's a couple big things that I think people will be interested. First of all, the next Terminator movie is coming out this weekend. Terminator: Dark Fate, and it includes all the original, like Linda Hamilton, Arnold Schwarzenegger's back. That should be interesting. The Irishman, which is another actually Netflix production, but they're putting it into the theaters first with Martin Scorsese as the director for kind of another mob movie. And then I know Chike is looking forward to Harriet, which is the tale of Harriet Tubman.
Oh yeah,
and you know, kind of her escaping and the founding or working with the Underground Railroad. So those are the big 3 for this weekend. I don't know which one I'm gonna focus on, but sounds like I got a lot of TV shows to catch up from Netflix first.
Yes, most definitely. Well, all right. Well, thank you as always for letting us know what to save our money on, what not to, and have a great week.
All right, you too, Steven.
All right, right back after this.
Sometimes I wonder if your heart is mine. Is true love our future? Tell me, are you supposed to be by my side? I'm blinded by all the gray. Maybe I can see a thing. My questions need answers. Tell me, do we go or do we stay? Baby, do you see forever? Will we be together? Do you leave my heart cold? Do I leave you open, hurting, heartbroken? Do we stay or do we go? I guess we'll crossroads, don't know which move to make. Never expected to be unsure about our fate. So I ask you to please tell me, do we give love one more try? Let go and just move on. Keep the memories, just say goodbye.
Is that enough? I guess we'll never know. Oh, 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 oh,
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Aaron Cosby, how's it going?
Is this the Stephen Knight?
This is the Stephen Knight.
Oh my gosh, I'm speaking to the Stephen. Wow,
He's stupid.
I know that you be busy. You be flying from here to there. You got shows, you be booked solid. So it's an honor.
You know, you crazy. How was your weekend?
It was a lot. It was a lot, but good. But just a lot of work.
I understand that.
A lot of schoolwork going on, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking. Yeah.
Most
what
definitely.
about your weekend?
My weekend was cool. It was cool. I just hung out with some friends here and there, and I went to a Halloween party on Saturday, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
You saw my outfit, The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Last minute at Target.
Apparently so. Yeah, it kind of seemed that way.
I got compliments on my outfit.
Like
You're a hater.
Okay.
Everybody liked my outfit.
Okay.
What's going on with these sports?
Well, I don't know if I said this last show, but I'm going to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
If I did. The Washington Mystics, congratulations on winning the WNBA Finals.
Oh, yeah, congratulations. I don't think you said that. No.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So, all right. So
shout out to them.
I'm going to say it twice. I'm going to say it one more time then, so it'll be twice. Congratulations to the Washington Mystics for winning their first ever WNBA championship.
Most definitely. Congratulations.
Congratulations, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Job well done.
Yeah.
All right. The other Washington team, well, one of the other Washington teams, the Washington Nationals.
Yeah.
Have you been keeping up with the World Series?
Yeah, 3-2.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good. I mean, it's a darn good series. I mean, who would have? I mean, it's good.
There's this baseball player because I was on. We're doing a competition at work to see who's gonna win prediction. And so I was on YouTube, and there's this baseball player. He doesn't play anymore, but he was giving his prediction, and he says that it's kind of what you said, that it could go either way. But he thinks that the Astros overall have the better team, but the Nationals are killing it. So he thinks that the Astros are going to win. What do you still think? What was your prediction?
Okay, it's so weird because the Nationals earlier in the season, they were crap. Like, they were just struggling. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, later on in the season, like, they just started winning.
They started killing it.
And,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in the playoffs, like, they've been this team that just finds the will to win.
Yeah.
And those first two games of the World Series, they blew everybody away. Like, they shocked everybody. Like, what? Like, I can see maybe winning one on the road, but to win two on the road against a team that people, thought was better. I mean, Houston is the better team. I mean, on paper, like, they're the better team.
Mm-hmm.
But the Nationals just came out of nowhere. But then Houston went to D.C. and just clean house. I mean, they just went. I mean, they didn't win just one game or two games. They won all three.
Yeah.
Games in D.C. And the momentum is with Houston. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Houston's series to lose.
Mm-hmm.
It is theirs to lose. The last two games are in Houston. They just have to win one.
Yeah.
They're on a 3-game winning streak.
Uh-huh.
Why not just close it out, Game 6, end it, call it a day? But I will say this. If Houston loses Game 6, I think that the Nationals will win Game 7 also. That. Yeah. So I'm going to say Houston's going to win,
I hope they do win because I'll win $40. But we'll see.
But you know how my predictions are.
Right.
You might end up losing $40.
Yeah, exactly.
My bad.
Right.
My bad. But seriously though, I think Houston's got it.
Yeah.
If they lose, if they don't win this series, it's like an epic collapse or it's like something crazy happened because they should win this series now. Absolutely.
You saw your president was there and he got booed last night.
Man, bruh.
Of course, the White House said he had a lot of fans there too as well. Well, we didn't see him.
I'm sure that he has some. I'm not going to, but that's so, come on now. Okay, let's be real, White House. There were around 50,000 people there.
Uh-huh.
The overwhelming majority.
Right.
So out of 50,000, he might have had maybe 1,000. It was so over. It's not even worth even debating over.
Uh-uh.
They didn't like him.
No.
They did not like him.
Nope.
They don't like him, and I think that's a sign of the majority of Americans. Like,
yeah.
They just don't.
Man, it's crazy.
Yeah, dude. And it's go to your little rally. Cause here's the thing. He's going to go to a rally soon. He has.
Oh, you already know that.
To help his ego.
Uh-huh.
His shattered
Uh-huh.
ego. He's going to go to a rally. He's going to talk about the fans of the Nationals. He's going to criticize.
Yeah.
We already know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But yeah. But not only did they boom, but they chanted lock him.
Lock him up. They use his words against himself.
Oh.
Right. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
That was yeah. Hey,
right.
If you can dish it, then you gotta.
Right. You gotta be able to take it.
You gotta be able to take it.
Mm-hmm.
It goes both ways.
Most definitely.
But yeah, I saw that. It was crazy. Football. You been keeping up with the Falcons? And I know I ask you this probably every time that we talk.
What'd you say now?
Exactly. Falcons?
No, yeah, they lost.
They took another L.
What else is new? Right.
Yeah, sad. Okay, just wanted to mention that. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to.
They lost to the Vikings. Yeah.
Again, they lose and lose. I think they are 1-7 now.
Yep, 1-7. Yep.
Yeah, sad. So that season's done. Flush it down the toilet. It's done.
Right.
All right, but let's talk about some winning teams.
Okay.
The Saints, man. Drew Brees is back on the team. They won again.
Yeah.
It's like this train just keeps rolling, man. So congratulations, Saints. The Panthers' winning streak ended yesterday as they got handled by the San Francisco 49ers. Handled by them. So
yeah.
And my squad, the Ravens, had a bye week, so they didn't have to do anything as they prepare to play the New England Patriots that I'm hoping that they will beat. I think that they will. I think to me, it's all set up. It's set up for the Ravens to beat the Patriots.
Okay.
I just feel it.
The Patriots won last night though, over the Browns.
Oh yeah,
27-13.
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Which is sad. Like something's going on with the Browns. Like there's talent there, but it's not gelling. It's not clicking. Something's off. I don't know what it is, but something like they should be competitive. Like they should have a winning record. But the second half of the season actually looks promising for them. Like they should be able to win the majority of their games coming up. So it's not over. It's not over for them. They can turn it up in the second half. They can go on like a nice winning streak and possibly make the playoffs. So
most definitely. We'll see what happens.
But that's all I got. That's all I got on in sports.
All right, Ron. Well, as always, thank you for keeping us informed, and I hope you have a great week.
Same to you, man. Thank you.
All right. We're back after this.
Spinning somebody so bright. You could be my sofa, baby, sofa. I'll call you my sofa, baby, sofa. You could be my sofa, baby, sofa. I'll call you my sofa, baby, sofa. You could be. Take your time. There's no need to rush this thing. Yeah. Keep it light while I slowly plug your strings. Yeah. You could write the sweetest melody. Yeah. Your bass line resonates in my bones down deep. I haven't loved somebody, gave you somebody my time, it flew right by me. Love somebody, touch somebody, so right you crept up on me. Love somebody, gave somebody my mind, you drive me crazy. Love somebody, touch somebody, so right. You could be my sofa, baby, sofa. I'll call you my sofa, baby, sofa. You could be my sofa, baby, sofa. I'll call you my sofa, baby, Tell me how you like it, baby. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me how you like it, baby. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me how you like it, baby. Tell me how you want it, baby. Tell me what you like to sing. Scream it till the levee breaks. Be my sofa, sofa, baby. Be my sofa, baby. You could be my sofa, baby, sofa. I'll call you my sofa, baby, sofa. You could be.
This is Robin Dixon from The Real Housewives of Potomac, and you're listening to The Stephen Knight Show.
Well, that's our show. I want to thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Shout out to Courtney for joining us for Hot Topics. Don't forget her podcast, Flight of Fancy, is on YouTube. Check it out. I'll be on this week's episode. And then shout out to Tina Lifford for joining us as well. Don't forget to get her book. It is called The Little Book of Big Lies. It's available next month. Get your hands on it. You can catch her on Queen Sugar. I can't wait for the next season. Have a great one. Have a good night. We'll talk again next week. Peace.
Tonight is all eyes on me. Everything's gonna be alright. And when we get there, I'ma see a pretty, pretty, pretty young thing. I'ma ask her to take my hand, head to the floor, and we gon' dance. And when we get there,